Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well. As mentioned in the video's title, I will discuss the summary of the novel Burnt Shadows. We have already discussed the characters of this novel in previous video. The novel is divided into 4 parts. In this video we will discuss its first part, which is the Yet Unknowing World. The novel opened in the morning of the 9th of August 1945 in Japan. The first character that is mentioned here is Conrad, who is German, but he has to come Japan because his brother-in-law had sent him here, so he couldn't leave with them. The second character is Hiroko Tanaka, who is a citizen of Japan. This was the time when Japan is being attacked with the nuclear bombs, so people used to hide themselves under the shelters. Hiroko was the fiancé of Conrad, and there was a between Germany and Japan. As Conrad was from Germany, so when the Germany surrendered in the war, people used to think about Conrad as a traitor. Therefore it was hard for both of to meet because Conrad was always being checked. So on the night when Germany surrendered, Conrad constructed a mobile of strong wire and hung each of his purple leather notebooks on it. When the wind whirled, the purple notebooks which Hiroko once called birds. After doing this, he thinks that no one will search him here. On the morning of the 9th of August, when the siren rang, which was a sign for the people to hide themselves in the shelters, Yoshi Watanabe entered into the shelter where Conrad was already present. Yoshi was a Japanese whose telegram James Burton, Conrad's brother-in-law, had referred to when packing Conrad off to Nagasaki. He welcomed him in Japan and also found him a Japanese tutor. It was Yoshi who had introduced him to his nephew's German teacher Hiroko Tanaka. But after the Germany surrendered, Yoshi said to Conrad that from now he can't be with him as the Japanese government keep checking him. After that they met now in a shelter on the 9th of August 1945. On other hand, at the shelter in Urakami, Hiroko is packed in so tightly between her neighbors that she cannot even raise a hand to wipe the sweat. There she was, chairman's wife, who had been a close friend of Hiroko's mother. When her mother was dying, she said to chairman's wife to protect her husband from himself. Actually, Hiroko's father was an iconoclastic artist, and during the wartime it's very dangerous. For a long time the chairman's mother had carried his promise, but in the spring Hiroko's father Matsui Tanaka had been walking past a neighborhood house and saw a cherry blossom tree which was there in the memory of a 15-year-old boy died in kamikaze attack. Without saying a word, Hiroko's father set the cherry blossom to fire. Hiroko was also walking beside him quietly. After that the dead boy's father shot Hiroko's father on the spot. The whole situation was unexpected and so quick that Hiroko was extremely shocked. At that point chairman's wife asked her to report her father, but she didn't do. But 3 days after that, police took Hiroko's father to jail where he stayed for over 2 weeks, and Hiroko was also dismissed from her teaching job. Now Hiroko has to work in a bullet-making factory. That's the reason she doesn't like her now. In the shelter there was a voice says, her father is Matsui Tanaka, the traitor. After that she came out of the shelter. She has been listening to these comments since the incident happened. She walks quickly to get away from the shelter. She was recalling the dreams of her childhood and of Conrad, to whom she only meet twice a week because of the situation of war and herself being called traitor. On the 9th of August Conrad came to her house. He has already told her that he has a half-sister whose name was Ilsa Weiss, but after marrying James Burton she changed her name as Elizabeth Burton because James don't want her to keep her identity as German, and both of them are now living in Delhi. He even told her about the Sajjad who works for James. Hiroko told her that she wanted to meet his sister, but Conrad politely told her that his sister doesn't want to meet them. The war in Hiroko's house. Hiroko wants him to meet his father, but Conrad said that is not how I want him to see his future son-in-law for the first time, and that he will be back for dinner. After the Conrad went, Hiroko removes the kimono from the trunk in the corner of the room and wore it. Then she walked to the veranda and saw Conrad, who was walking across the Urakami Valley. After that, Nagasaki was filled with the smoke of atom bomb. After that, Hiroko leans out of the window. She was burnt by the attack. She heard that her neighbor was calling her name somewhere close. She heard that Conrad is died in the attack. So that's the summary of the first part of the novel Burnt Shadows. The second part will be uploaded soon. If you like this video, then please subscribe to channel. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.